Hello and welcome to the Cavern of Terror.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Cavern of Terror. And yes, we are here from my Scream Season 3 Resurrection Episode 3 spoiler review. Yep, I still have not come up with a better way to talk about this show's fucking title. I've been giving you guys this spiel from the beginning. If you have not seen my spoiler-free review of Scream Season 3, all the episodes that I've done before, I highly suggest you go over there and watch those spoiler-free videos just to get my on the surface thoughts on these episodes before we get into the spoiler discussion, because I really don't want to ruin anything for you. So if you haven't seen that, go over there and watch that video, and then better yet, watch the episode before we get into the spoilers. Don't want to ruin anything. So another quick recap before we get into the spoilerish things here about what happened in episode 2. We actually got the death of Shane's character, Tyler Posey, R.I.P. brother. You were an amazing character. He left us in the last episode. We also had the theory of Marcus being the Ghostface killer, Dion's brother being the Ghostface killer. Well, we're going to answer some of those questions that we had about that character in this episode. This is probably going to be the shortest video that I've done in the spoiler videos so far, because this is the most action-packed episode. We do get a lot of big story elements here, but there's a lot of action in this episode 3. So the first thing we need to talk about is the big story elements in this episode. So at the very beginning of this episode, we are actually introduced to Dion and Jamal's father, Earl. He was mentioned at the very beginning, and then we actually see him later in this, and this actually raises the tensions between the two brothers. So I like the seeds that they're planting there for that story, because I know that's probably going to become more important in episode 4, which I have not watched yet, which I will be watching right after this one. But I liked the tension build between these two characters. Their bond is growing stronger and does grow stronger by the end of this episode. And I really enjoyed this scene. I really liked seeing this development between these two brothers and their common connection, their father. After this little confrontation that he has with his brother, he immediately gets a call from Ghostface, and Ghostface basically eggs him on. He tells him to go back to the salvage yard from the flashback sequence in the first episode. He wants Dion to expose the inside, like let Ghostface know what he did. So he decides to go to the salvage yard in Olivia's car. But of course, with this being a horror series, everyone else finds out about it as well, because it's revealed that the car that he took is actually low-jacked. Olivia's father had a low-jack device put on the vehicle so she knows where he's going, and basically says that he had lied to her. So she convinced all the other ones, Amir, Manny, Kim, and Beth, to go along with her to try to find Dion. I can also confirm to you guys that we officially have a relationship between Dion and Olivia. Have a full-on makeout session going on here that turns into a sex scene on VH1 that actually leads into my favorite scene probably in this episode. And it's a dream sequence with Dion. He wakes up in the morning, he has a conversation, or so he thinks he's having a conversation with Olivia, who he thinks is asleep. He pulls back the covers and she is dying. She's got a massive stomach wound, and he's like, I gotta help you, I gotta help you. He goes to run out and he gets stabbed by a Ghostface killer. He comes back into the room, he pulls the mask off after the knife's been plunged into his chest one more time, and we find out that he thinks he's being killed by Marcus. And this is the coolest thing, because they show the knife just sliding down, and we get to see the gore effects here, which are really good, and he rips open his chest and you can see the rib cage. It was brilliant, guys. Absolutely fucking loved that scene. Before we get into the really, really important stuff near the end of the episode here, I just want to talk about the tension building that episode 3 really does very well. I really felt the stakes here with these characters, and I liked the sequences where these people are just not getting along. Manny felt like one of the most level-headed characters in this show, and they have a scene where he's just kicking the shit out of Kim's car. Ghostface is actually trying to get these people separated, and he pretty much succeeds in what he's trying to do in this episode. He gets everyone to go at each other's throats for the most part, and actually causes this really big breakdown fight scene with Manny and Kim. Now, he doesn't actually hit Kim, but he really kicks the shit out of her car. Now, this is where things get really interesting. The characters pretty much get separated. You got a group over here and a group over there. And the group over here is Dion and Olivia. They actually go to the salvage yard to meet up with Luther, and that is Tony Todd's character. He was the one at the very beginning that attacked Marcus. It's revealed here that Tony Todd's Luther character was a Vietnam veteran, and he came back pretty messed up. So when he saw Marcus and Dion in his salvage yard, he went a little bit too crazy. He basically saw visions and went after them, and he didn't know that it was Marcus until after he had already struck him. And he just figured that Marcus had went away and left, but unfortunately he didn't. He crawled in the back of a vehicle and ended up dying there and wasn't found until 6 months later. So this pretty much crushes Dion, but that is not the ending to this episode. Oh no! Candyman Tony Todd, Luther's character, actually gets attacked by Ghostface and ends up dying in the salvage yard. Now, I have some theories about what happened here, and I'll do them at the end of this video. But I really enjoyed this sequence. It's really making me think as to who this killer could be, hence my theory. But we also had another death in this episode. And yes, it was Manny. That actually isn't the ending of this episode, though. It goes on a little bit further. We get another conversation with Dion and Jamal, and Dion basically says to Jamal, like, you're my brother. You've always been my brother. You know, kind of like not saying, but saying, I'm here for you, you're here for me, we're a family. So I really like that. And then we had something really interesting at the end, and that was between Dion and Olivia. Olivia calls Dion and she goes, you know, I feel responsible for what happened to Manny tonight. And Dion said, you know, that's not your fault. But something really weird happens here where she gets out a lighter and starts burning her own arm. So I think that's setting her up to be a red herring here. Right after she reveals that she thinks that someone in their group is the ghost face that's going after them. That's not something that we haven't seen before in a Scream movie or the television series. So I'm interested to see where that goes next. One last thing before I leave you guys here. As I said at the very beginning of this video, I had a theory. Now you can tell me I'm fucking crazy if you want, and I actually think I am kind of fucking crazy for coming up with this theory because I didn't think of it until I watched this episode. Could it be that Dion is one of the killers? Could he have a split personality? Could the other personality be Marcus? Could he have suppressed all these memories about, you know, losing his brother, and this somehow creates another personality that is a psychotic killer? And now I know this theory can't really be supported without him having a partner. Now, what if this person is actually going along with what Dion says when he's Dion, but is working with Marcus? I know it's a crazy ass theory, but if you guys think that this is something that is happening, I don't know. I haven't seen the rest of the episode, so I cannot be sure if I'm, you know, sure or true or 100% positive about this. But guys, if you think that I'm right, let me know down in the comments down below. What did you think of Scream Resurrection Episode 3? This was a really action-packed episode. Again, we lost another character, R.I.P. Manny. I really enjoyed this one. We found out that Marcus might not be the killer. We might not know who the killer is at all anymore, because I feel like anytime we start to get closer to figure out who the killer is, they throw another fucking curveball at us. So I really did enjoy this episode. Let me know what you guys think of Scream Episode 3 in the comments down below. Did you like it? Did you think it's a fucking trash fire? Positive or negative, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, guys, I will be giving you spoiler reviews of Episode 4, Episode 5, and Episode 6 of Scream Resurrection. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a big motherfucking thumbs up. And if you're new to the Cavern of Terror, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. That way you get notified about all my future content. And if you want to get yourself a Cavern of Terror t-shirt, make sure you hit up the Spreadshirt store link in the description box down below. And most importantly, guys, if you want to follow me on social media, all those links are down there as well. But most importantly, my name's Zach. This has been the Cavern of Terror. Stay metal, my friends.